So again, everybody's yelling now, Davante Adams, he going to fix the problem. Should the Jets trade for Davante Adams, and can he really fix the problems? Joe, I'll start with you.
I don't think he's going to fix every problem, but I think Allen Lazard leads the NFL in drops. He has 6 so far. And I think if you look at how they lost this game, Allen Lazard dropped a potential go-ahead touchdown. He dropped a pass on the go-ahead drive over his shoulder. He dropped a first down pass. If Davante Adams is there and catches those passes, then the Jets probably beat the Vikings. And they lost to the Broncos by 3 points. And if he makes 1 or 2 plays on that final drive, does that get them over the hump? And are we talking about a 3-2 or 4-1 team right now that has issues, but is 3-2 or 4-1 in a very bad, mediocre AFC? So is Davante Adams going to make Nate Hackett a better offensive coordinator? No. Is he going to improve the blocking in the run game? No. Would I rather have him getting the targets that Allen Lazard is getting? Would I rather have a guy who's more in sync with Aaron Rodgers? Because twice now, the Jets have had a chance to win the game on the final drive, and both times Rodgers and his receivers have not been in sync, and they've ultimately lost the game despite being right there. So in a season where these games are going to be close, could he tilt the scales a few times? Yes, it's not a perfect cure-all. I also don't think you're giving up much more than 2 mid-round picks at best, maybe. Are you talking about a third and a fourth rounder where the Jets have 2/3 and have 2/5 next year? I have no problem with them trying to be proactive because there's a little too much Allen Lazard in this offense. And I love Garrett Wilson. No receiver should ever have 22 targets in a game. That's not sustainable.
Mike Williams, though? What about Mike Williams?
Listen, is Mike Williams 100% healthy yet? Is Mike Williams on the same page with Aaron Rodgers yet? I'm not blaming Williams for that interception. That's on Rodgers. It was not a good throw. 100%. And Williams has done a good job when getting opportunities. They should throw to him vertically more down the field. But having another weapon never hurts in the NFL where points are at a premium. They're going to be throwing a lot, clearly. Rodgers threw 55 times last week. They cannot find their running game. Having a guy he's comfortable with, especially if he's going to keep being in these positions where, hey, you're down 1 possession with the ball in your hand. This has happened 2 weeks in a row. Having a guy who you've completed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of passes to, who knows when you're going to break your route or change your route, that is going to help them. And they need everything they can get because they're struggling from a schematic standpoint offensively. Nothing is easy. Nobody's being schemed open. So the more talented guys you have who could win one-on-one, the better. Not going to cure everything, but it does make them a better team.
Connor, I know you have thoughts on this.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Joe said it makes the offense better because you're taking a player that is still probably one of the top 12 receivers in the NFL when he's healthy and replacing 2 guys in Mike Williams and Allen Lazard who are probably 20 and lower, and that's being generous. But when I look at the issues of this Jets offense, it's not player related. I mean, seriously, like they're paying $11 million to Allen Lazard. They're paying $10 million to Mike Williams. They will be paying $25+ million a year to Garrett Wilson when he gets their money. They have talent in this room. Tyler Conklin, a 2-headed rushing attack, a 4-time MVP at quarterback, and the best Jets offensive line we've seen in probably a decade. The issues with this offense are not player related, is that every single time they step on the field, they are at a schematic disadvantage with the opposition as long as there is a competent defensive coordinator on the other side of the ball. There is no creativity from the Jets offense. There is no excitement in the Jets offense. There is no revolutionary
you're looking at the pictures right now of Hackett and Aaron. This is what Aaron wanted.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But again, there's nothing revolutionary or unique about the Jets offense. They line up and basically say, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Allen Lazard, Tyler Conklin, you guys get open and we'll try to figure it out. They're not scheming guys open. Watch the San Francisco 49ers. Watch the Green Bay Packers. Watch the LA Rams, even though they're struggling this year. Watch the New York Giants against the Seattle Seahawks last year. They had Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Hyatt as their 3 starting receivers, but Brian Daboll put forth a game plan that got those guys open despite the fact they were at such a talent disadvantage. And the reason why the Jets aren't doing this, it's because this is their game plan. This is what they want. Aaron Rodgers did not enjoy, when he was with the Green Bay Packers, the number of motions and all the confusion that Matt LaFleur deployed. That was not what he wanted. What he wanted was an offensive scheme that lined up, no motion, get us to the line, let me see the defense, and let me go out there and we'll beat guys that way. Okay, I guess, but 31 other teams in the NFL all want the motion. 31 other teams all want the pre-snap confusion on the defense. That's how you create guys getting open. Again, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, 2 elite-level corners. How were the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell able to get Justin Jefferson open? You saw him matched up against Tony Adams. You saw him matched up against Oliver. How? Because they were scheming him into those situations. The Jets don't do those things. They just don't. And the one defense that they had of this basic offensive philosophy that they deploy was look at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles over the last 2 years did the similar things with Jalen Hurts. It was line up, no motion, just go play. The Eagles fired that entire offensive staff to bring in Kellen Moore and implement the more creativity and the excitement and things of that nature. And I know things aren't working too well with the Eagles right now. They got issues with Sirianni, issues on defense, issues with Bryce Huff being invisible and all that stuff. But the biggest concerns with the Jets right now is that, like I said, every single week they are at a schematic disadvantage. And when they play teams that are significantly more talented than Jeane, we talked about this last week, they will beat those teams. But when they play teams that are on par with them schematically, coaching is what makes the difference. And offensively, not defensively, offensively, I don't see any game where the Jets are going to be able to scheme themselves to a victory. And we're not talking about playoffs. We're talking about a playoff run and Super Bowl chase. I don't see the Jets getting there with or without Davante Adams because of the issues they have schematically.